यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा वृंदावन बिहारी राधा वृंदावन बिहारी राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगामई की यमुनामई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees who assembled here. Very happy to see so many children under the guidance of Premlila Mataji. Gems, you are gems. Govardhan English Medium School. Plus brahmacharis and other devotees. I also offer my obeisances to all the speakers who have been glorifying Srimati Radharani in the last few days and will be glorifying in the next couple of days also, on the occasion of Shri Radhashtami. As all of us know, this is a very elevated subject matter either we don't have the ability or the eligibility or the purity to properly describe even a particle of a drop of the oceanic glories of Srimati Radharani. Firstly, many of us are not even aware of those glories. Second, even if we are aware to some degree, the anarthas within the heart, the shortcomings, the disqualifications do not allow us to sufficiently meditate on them, relish them, appreciate them. Still, as described in the Bhagavatam 3rd canto, Tathapi kirtayam yanga yatha mati yatha shritam kirtim harehe swam satkartum giram anyabhidasatim. Although we are not fully aware of the glories of the Lord, we don't have so much knowledge, we don't have so much realization or even purity or eligibility, still we do it. Why? Because we want to purify our hearts. Unless we glorify the Supreme Lord and His devotees, where is the possibility of purification of the heart? So, glorification of Krishna and His devotees is the cause of purification of our hearts. So, in this mood, let us try to make a feeble attempt to glorify the supreme devotee of Krishna, Srimati Radharani. I am not aware of any leelas of Srimati Radharani. Few here and there, whatever I could hear from my spiritual master and few senior Vaishnavas and read from Prabhupada's books. But we will focus primarily on the identity of Srimati Radharani and her qualities and glories, as much as Krishna gives us the power of description. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami describes 3 unfulfilled desires of Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna is Atmaram, he is Aptakam. All the desires of Krishna are automatically fulfilled. Naturally, Krishna is the supreme possessor of all opulences, all powers. How can there be any desire of Krishna which is left unfulfilled? Krishna, whatever he wants, he will get. He is the origin of everything. He is the source of all powers. There is no possibility of Krishna's desires remaining unfulfilled at any point of the time. But still, Krishna has 3 unfulfilled desires. What are they? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in the first part of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, first chapter, 6th shloka. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanayaiva svadyo yenadbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyaham saukyam chasya madanubhavatah kidrisham veti lobhat tadbhavadyah samajanishachi garbhasindhu harinduhu. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanayaiva. What is the mahima or what is the glory of Srimati Radharani's pranaya, love for Krishna? So Krishna wants to understand the greatness of Srimati Radharani's love. First unfulfilled desire for kids to note down. Okay? First unfulfilled desire of Krishna is he wants to understand the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. Clear? Second, when Srimati Radharani sees Krishna, she gets completely attracted to him. Her attraction towards Krishna is so natural, so sweet. Krishna is all attractive. Krishna is supremely attractive. But how many people really get attracted to Krishna in this material world? Not many. Why? Because their consciousness is covered with so much of ego, ignorance, material desires, distractions, temptations, allurements. Therefore, they cannot be attracted to Krishna. But when the soul is pure, in that purest state of consciousness, the soul is naturally attracted to Krishna. As Prahlad Maharaj says in the 7th canto, just like iron particles naturally get attracted to a magnet, similarly, souls in pure consciousness naturally get attracted to Krishna. Right? Amongst all the devotees, amongst all the personalities who have pure consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. She is the epitome of Krishna consciousness. So she gets attracted to Krishna more than anyone else could ever get attracted to Krishna. Right? She loves Krishna. She serves Krishna more than anyone else can ever love Krishna or serve Krishna. Right? So Krishna is very sweet. Only Radharani experiences that sweetness to the fullest extent. Krishna is very beautiful. Only Radharani relishes Krishna's beauty to the fullest extent. So, even Krishna also cannot understand as much as Radharani understands. Even Krishna cannot relish his own sweetness as much as Radharani relishes his sweetness. Right? So, Kaviraj Goswami says, Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanayaiva Swadyo yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. Swadyo yena adbhuta madhurima. Adbhuta madhurima. The divine sweetness of Krishna, swadyo, aswadya, is relishable only to Srimati Radharani. Other devotees also relish, but not as much as Krishna relishes. Right? As much as Radharani relishes. So Krishna became intrigued. How come Radharani is experiencing my sweetness, my madhurya more than anyone else? I also want to experience my own sweetness. It's like Gulab Jamun doesn't understand how sweet, how tasty it is. Who understands? One who eats, right? Yes, he's intelligent. So one who eats Gulab Jamun will understand how tasty it is, but not Gulab Jamun itself. Similarly, Krishna cannot understand his own sweetness. Only devotees understand Krishna's sweetness. And amongst all the devotees, Radharani is the supreme. Therefore, she understands, she relishes Krishna's sweetness more than any other devotee could ever relish. So, we discussed two reasons. First, Krishna wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's greatness of Radharani's love. Second, Krishna also wanted to experience his own sweetness like Radharani does. And third, Swadyo yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah Saukhyam chasya madanubhavatah kidrisham veti lobhat. So Gulab Jamun is sweet, very tasty. But when you eat it, you experience that taste, you relish it so much. So why is Gulab Jamun sweet is one thing, the way it is being made. But when you are eating it, what is your experience? Right? So Krishna wanted to understand the extent of his own sweetness, how Gulab Jamun is so sweet. Then Krishna also want to experience Radharani's relish while eating that Gulab Jamun or while seeing Krishna. There's a subtle difference between the second reason and third reason, or second unfulfilled desire of Krishna and third unfulfilled desire of Krishna. First is clear. Krishna wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love for Krishna. Second, Krishna wanted to understand the extent of his own sweetness, Madhurima. Third, Krishna wanted to actually experience the pleasure of Radharani in service to Krishna. Right? So with these three desires, Tadbhavadhyah samajani shachi garbha sindhau harinduhu. So Krishna entered into the womb of Mother Shachi and became Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Clear? Why did I say this? This is not Gaurapurnima lecture. This is Radhashtami lecture. Why am I remembering Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when I have to glorify Srimati Radharani? The answer is simple. Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only to glorify the extent of Radharani's Krishna consciousness. Lord Sri Krishna's appearance as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the highest testimony for the greatness of Radha's love, Srimati Radharani's Krishna consciousness. So, if somebody is very great, all great people will glorify this person. So when someone very great is acknowledging, oh, this person is so great, this is like this, he is like that, then you understand how great he is. Because when you see him directly, sometimes we may not be able to understand their greatness, but if some celebrity comes and glorifies this person, then we'll understand the greatness. Right? So although Srimati Radharani is very humble, a simple gopi in Vrindavan, and sometimes, and also her glories are hidden, they are not very lavishly, liberally spoken, but still, 500 years back, when Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought out the glories of Srimati Radharani, then people understood, oh, this is Srimati Radharani. So Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna personally glorifies Srimati Radharani by appearing in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the topmost of all the persons, when he is acknowledging her glory, she must be really great. Right? So, what could be a better testimony of Radharani's greatness than Krishna personally appearing as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So, Mahaprabhu appeared on this planet to give as Krishna Prema through Krishna Nama. Prema Namadbhutarthaha Shravana Pathagataha Kasya Nam Mahimnaha Koveta Kasya Vrinda Vanavipina Maha Madhurishu Pravesha Kova Janati Radham Paramarasa Chamatkara Madhurya Simam Ekas Chaitanya Chandraha Paramakarunaya Sarvamavischakaram. Prema Namadbhutarthaha. What is the glory of Mahaprabhu's appearance? What are some divine gifts that Mahaprabhu has ever given all of us? Number one, Prema. Nama Adbhuta Arthaha. The real goal of life, the most wonderful aspiration that all of us could ever have is to attain Krishna Prema. Keep counting. First gift of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Prema. Means he has given us this goal of Krishna Prema. The goal of your human life is to attain Krishna Prema. He has set that goal. Otherwise, the conditioned souls in this material world are aspiring for so many goals. They want name, fame, prestige, money, power, position, followers, dhanam, janam, sundarim. That's their goal. But Mahaprabhu said, these are not your goals. Prema is your goal. So, giving us the right aspiration is the first gift of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema, first gift. Second gift, Nama. Shravana Pathagataha Kasya Nam Mahimnaha. How do we attain this goal of Prema? By chanting Nama. Right? That is the second gift of Lord Chaitanya. Then third gift of Lord Chaitanya. Koveta Kasya Vrinda. Koveta Kasya Vrinda Vanavipina Maha Madhurishu Praveshaha. Who would have ever understood the glories of Vrindavan Dham without the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So the third gift that Mahaprabhu has given us is Vrindavan Dham. He introduced us to the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. What is the glory of Vrindavan? Okay, before coming to the fourth one, I want to discuss something elaborately about Vrindavan. You know what we get in Vrindavan? Sri Krishna Ikanta Bhavam Kvanusakala Jano Vashyamapnotya Yatnat Krishnasyāscharya Sīma Parama Bhagavataha Kutra Leelartha Murti Kutratya Krishna Padam Bhuja Bhajana Mahananda Samrajya Kashtha Bhratar Vakshye Rahasyam Srunusakalamidam Srila Vrindavanitra. In Vrindavan, we get some divine access to some divine gifts. First gift is Sri Krishna Ikanta Bhavam, one-pointed attention, one-pointed devotion to Krishna. Sri Krishna Ekanta Bhavam, that exclusive devotion to Krishna, one-pointed devotion to Krishna we get in Vrindavan only. Sri Krishna Ekanta Bhavam Kvanusakala Jano Vashyamapnotya Yatnat. Avashyam means definitely we will get one-pointed devotion to Krishna when we take shelter of Vrindavan Dham. Krishnasyascharya sima parama bhagavatah kutra leelartha murti. Krishna is Ascharya Sima. Krishna is the limit of all wonders. We will understand the glorious position of Krishna as the most wonderful personality, as the abode of all wonders, wonderful mellows, wonderful rasas, only in Vrindavan Dham. First, we'll get exclusive devotion to Krishna in Vrindavan. Second, we will understand that Krishna is the treasure house of all wonders of prema in Vrindavan. Krishnasyascharya sima parama bhagavatah kutra leelartha murtihi kutratya krishna padam bhuja bhajana mahananda samrajya kashtam. Only in Vrindavan Dham we will get access to the bliss of service to the lotus feet of Krishna. Many people do some service to Krishna or the other. But how many of them who are serving Krishna are enjoying that spiritual bliss? Right? When you are serving Krishna, sometimes there are some difficulties also. But for a devotee, even if there are difficulties, the devotee only experiences happiness. Right? When you are organizing a festival, there are some difficulties. When you are serving the deities, there are some difficulties. When you are leading a project, there are some difficulties. When you are interacting with other devotees and serving along with them, there are some other difficulties. Right? So many difficulties are there, even while serving Krishna. But even those difficulties are not seen as difficulties by a devotee. They only experience bliss. Right? So, service to Krishna is one thing. Happily serving Krishna is another thing. Experiencing bliss and happiness even while experiencing difficulties in Krishna's service is the highest thing. So that ability to experience the bliss of service to Krishna we'll get in Vrindavan Dham. So 3 gifts, right? This is what we'll get in Vrindavan. Exclusive devotion to Krishna, an understanding of Krishna's glorious position, and also the bliss of serving Krishna's lotus feet, right? So Mahaprabhu has come to give us these transcendental gifts. Let's come back to the previous shloka. We were discussing the gifts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What were they? First, prema. Second, nama. Third, dhama. Vrindavan Dham. So while discussing this third gift, we discussed some glories of Vrindavan also. Now let's discuss the fourth gift. Very important for our current discussion. The fourth gift is Ko vajanati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam. The fourth gift that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us is an understanding that Srimati Radharani is the supreme limit of conjugal love. So Krishna can be loved in 5 rasas. Shanta rasa, dasya rasa, sakhya rasa, vatsalya rasa, madhurya rasa. Of all these 5 rasas, which is the topmost? Madhurya rasa. Right? In the madhurya rasa, there are 2 flavors. Swakiya flavor and Parakiya flavor. Swakiya flavor means love for Krishna as a wife, wedded wife. Parakiya flavor means loving Krishna as a lover, even without an official formal marriage bond. Swakiya flavor is there in Dwarka. All the queens of Krishna, 16,100 queens of Krishna, love Krishna in the Swakiya flavor. And all the gopis of Vrindavan worship Krishna in Parakiya flavor. Which is best of these 2? Parakiya, the gopis. And amongst all the gopis, who is the best? Srimati Radharani. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared to give us this understanding. Ko vajanati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam. Srimati Radharani is the supreme epitome of this Madhurya Prema, Madhurya Sima, right? So Mahaprabhu has given us this understanding. So without Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, we could not have understood the Tattva of Radharani, forget Leela and other things, right? So Srimati Radharani's position and her glory is introduced to these people of this world only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his descendants and his representatives like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all the other acharyas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Mahaprabhu. Before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's manifestation, how many Radharani deities were there? How much people understood Vrindavan Dham are glories of Srimati Radharani. And who is Lord Chaitanya? Krishna. Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to highlight Radharani's love. Here Krishna is appearing to glorify Srimati Radharani. How glorious she must be. Right? So this is the glory of Srimati Radharani. We discussed only one point, one little point. Srimati Radharani is glorious because Krishna wants to glorify her. Right? All her glories are hidden. Krishna became very enthusiastic, eager to glorify Srimati Radharani. Let me highlight her mood by accepting her mood. How did he highlight her mood? By accepting her mood, by aspiring for that mood. I am Krishna receiving the service of Srimati Radharani, and she is doing all service, but she is experiencing 10 million times more happiness than me. Generally, one who receives service is relaxed, happy. They are like having all comforts. But one who is rendering service, they are struggling so much, they are doing all hard work. But in spiritual circles, those are doing that hard work, those are undergoing all that pain of service, they experience more pleasure than the recipient of service. So much so that the recipient of service aspires for the position of the servant. So Krishna receives service of Radharani and Radharani renders service to Krishna, but Radharani's happiness in serving Krishna is 10 million times greater than Krishna's happiness in receiving that service. And Krishna is aspiring for the position of Srimati Radharani, for the emotion of Srimati Radharani, for the complexion of Srimati Radharani. And he became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What could be a better way of glorifying Srimati Radharani than remembering how much Krishna relished her glory, how much Krishna adored and admired her prema, her love, her affection, her sweetness. So, the Supreme Lord Krishna has multiple energies, as all of us know. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. And Antaranga Shakti is the spiritual potency of Krishna. And within that Antaranga Shakti, within that spiritual energy, there are again three parts. Sandhini, Samvit, Hladini. Sandhini is eternality. Samvit is knowledge or awareness potency. Hladini is the pleasure potency. Hladini rasara, prema. The essence of that pleasure potency is love, prema. And the essence of prema is bhava. And the intensification or the condensed form of that bhava is called Mahabhava. And when that Mahabhava takes the form of a person, that is Srimati Radharani. Mahabhava Swarupa Radha Thakurani. Srimati Radharani is the personification of intense emotion for Krishna, intense love for Krishna. Whatever love we have, whatever devotion we have, is just a tiny drop of her devotion to Krishna. She is the personification of Krishna's prema and prema for Krishna. The soul is meant to express love for Krishna and experience love of Krishna. And that love for Krishna is originated from Srimati Radharani. And she is the one who expresses that love for Krishna to the highest possible extent and who experiences the love of Krishna to the highest possible extent. Krishna doesn't love anyone as much as he loves Srimati Radharani. And Radharani doesn't love anyone as much as she loves Krishna. Krishna prema mayi Radha, Radha prema mayo harihi. Krishna chitta sthita Radha, Radha chitta sthito harihi. Krishna prema mayi Radha. Who is Srimati Radharani? Krishna prema mayi. She is filled with Krishna prema. She is a personification of love for Krishna. She is the abode of love for Krishna. All of us know that Krishna is Ashraya Tattva.
We have 10 topics of Bhagavatam, right? Atra sargo visargasya sthanam poshanamutayah manvantaresha anukatha nirodho muktirashrayah. Ashraya means shelter. Krishna is described as shelter in all our scriptures. But Srimati Radharani is the shelter. How? Krishna is the shelter of all potencies, all expansions, all universes, all souls, all incarnations. Yes, he is the shelter in a certain way. But Radharani is the shelter of all devotion. She is the abode of all devotion. She is the shelter of all love. All the love one could ever have for Krishna. Right? She is filled with love for Krishna. If love for Krishna takes the form of a person, that is Srimati Radharani. She is the personification of Krishna Prema. Krishna's Prema. Prema for Krishna and Prema of Krishna. That is Srimati Radharani. Right? So she is the real Ashraya Tattva. If Radharani is Ashraya, who is Vishaya then? Who is the object? Krishna. Krishna is the Vishaya and Radha is the Ashraya. Krishna is the Vishaya, the object of love, and Radharani is Ashraya, the abode or the shelter of love. All bhakti unto Krishna, all the devotion for Krishna takes shelter of Srimati Radharani. She is the supreme goddess of devotion. So, Krishna chitta sthita Radha. Radha chitta sthito harihi. So, in the chitta, in the consciousness of Srimati Radharani, only Krishna is present, no one else is present. And in the consciousness of the heart of Krishna, only Radharani is present, no one else is present. Right? So, Krishna Premamayi Radha. Who is Srimati Radharani? One who is completely filled with Krishna Prema. And who is Krishna? One who is filled with love for Radharani. That is the identity of Krishna. Radharani is the feminine counterpart of Krishna, and Krishna is the masculine counterpart, male counterpart of Radha. That's what our scriptures say. So, Kaviraj Goswami says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, love is compared to gold and lust is compared to iron. Many times in this world, there is some attraction between boys and girls, young boys and young girls when they're teens or in their youth. Many times in this world, that love is compared to Radha Krishna's love in a very, very immature, not just immature in an offensive way. There are so many songs, especially in South India I have seen, songs written where the hero is compared to Krishna and heroine is compared to Radha and their emotions are compared to Radha Krishna emotions. They just try to bring it down to such like very low level, right? So who are we to evaluate or to even understand even a particle of a drop of the oceanic love between Radha and Krishna and imagine the so-called love amongst the human beings that with that exalted love between Radha and Krishna. So, the attraction between materialistic people in this world, materialistic men and women, is most of the times it is kama, not prema. It's a physical attraction. And even if there is some attraction or some affection or some quote-unquote love, which is beyond the bodily platform, that's at the max and it's at the mental platform. Some emotional attachment. One is physical attachment, second is material attachment, emotional attachment. And that emotions are also on the material platform only. Right? But the emotions that Radharani has for Krishna or Krishna has for Radharani are divine. There is no difference between Radha and Krishna. You can never separate sunshine from sun. We can never separate light from a lamp. Just like sunshine and sun are inseparable, Radha and Krishna are inseparable. Just like lamp and its light are inseparable, Radha and Krishna are inseparable. They are one. Ekatma now api bhuvi pura deha bhedau gatau tau. Although Ekatma now they are one, deha bhedau, they manifested as two forms. One male form and one female form. Only to experience rasa, relish rasa. That is divine rasa. That's a manifestation of Krishna's pleasure potency. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shaktirasmad Ekatmanav api bhuvi pura deha bhedau gatau tau Chaitanyakhyam prakata madhuna tadvayam chaikyamaptam Radha bhavadyuti suvalitam naumi Krishna swarupam. Ekatmanav, they are one. Api bhuvi pura deha bhedau gatau tau. Although they are one, they manifested in two forms to experience rasa. And that is very loosely understood or interpreted by the materialistic people of this world, and they end up committing so many offenses. This is very exalted subject matter, right? We are discussing about Krishna's divine consort, how respectful we should be, how respectful and how reverential we should be in even taking her name, even chanting her name. And we need to also appreciate her divine qualities, and especially the quality of compassion, quality of humility. So we need to understand that whatever little devotion or affection we have for Krishna has its origin in Srimati Radharani's heart. As Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritimashritah. I just said Srimati Radharani is the Ashraya Tattva. She is the Ashraya. She is the shelter of love for Krishna. Krishna also says that. Daivim prakritim ashritah. So, because she is the Ashraya of love for Krishna, if we take her Ashraya, if we take her shelter, then we get some love for Krishna. All love for Krishna is there under her shelter, her control. Even Krishna is also under her control. And if you want some devotion for Krishna, we have to come under her control. Daivim prakritim ashritaha. And then we can do bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadimavayam. Then we will be able to worship Krishna without any distractions or deviations. So, she is the supreme worshipper of Krishna. So, Prabodhananda Saraswati says that he compares Radharani with 7 oceans, 7 divine oceans. Vaidagdhya sindhur anuraga rasaika sindhur vatsalya sindhurati sandra krupaika sindhur lavanya sindhur amrita chhavi rupa sindhur Shri Hridikeli Sindhu, Vaidagdhya Sindhu. Hare Krishna. Let the vehicle go so that we can discuss about Radharani. Vaidagdhya Sindhu means Srimati Radharani is an ocean of all virtues, all good qualities. Children, remember the 7 oceans. First ocean, Vaidagdhya Sindhu, means Srimati Radharani is the ocean of all virtues. Second, Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. She is an ocean of Anuraga, exclusive affection, attraction, attachment to Krishna. Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. Vaidagdhya Sindhur Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. Vatsalya Sindhur. Vatsalya Sindhu means Srimati Radharani is an ocean of Vatsalya. Unlimited affection or compassion towards all of us, right? She has affection for Krishna, she is affectionate to all of us also, right? When she shows some affection, then we will get some affection for Krishna. Therefore, we need to pray for that affection. Vatsalya Sindhur, Atisandra Kripaika Sindhur. Kripa means compassion. She is an ocean of compassion. Not just Kripa Sindhur, not just Kripaika Sindhur, Sandra Kripaika Sindhur. Sandra Kripa means condensed compassion. Then Ati Sandra means extremely condensed compassion. She is an ocean of extremely condensed compassion for Krishna. Ati Sandra Kripaika Sindhur, 4th ocean. Right? Vaidagdhya Sindhur Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur Vatsalya Sindhur Ati Sandra Kripaika Sindhur Lavanya Sindhu. Lavanya Sindhu means she's an ocean of all loveliness. Amrita Chhavi Rupa Sindhur, she's an ocean of nectarian beauty. That is the sixth ocean. Then Shri Radhika Spuratume Hridi Keli Sindhur. Hridi Keli Sindhur. She's also an ocean of divine leelas. Keli means leela, pastimes. She's an ocean of divine pastimes with Krishna. So total 7 oceans of Srimati Radharani. Just as Krishna is compared to 7 oceans by Ramanujacharya, he says Krishna is like 7 oceans. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Manmana means to always think of Krishna. Right? So how do you think of Krishna? What does it mean to always think of Krishna? To immerse your mind in the 7 oceans of Krishna. What are those 7 oceans? Basically to meditate on 7 qualities of Krishna. Mai apara karunya, saushilya, saundarya, madhurya, gambhirya, audarya, vatsalya, jaladhau, nivishta manabhava. Now you write 7 oceans of Krishna. We discussed 7 oceans of Radharani, right? Let's start writing about 7 oceans of Krishna. Mayapara Karunya. Krishna is an ocean of Karuna, compassion. He is an ocean of compassion, Karunya. Second, Saushilya. Krishna is an ocean of good character. Third, Saundarya. Krishna is an ocean of nectarian beauty. Ocean of beauty. Karunya, Saushilya, Saundarya, Madhurya. Krishna is also an ocean of sweetness, unlimited sweetness. Generally, those who are beautiful, sweet, they may not be very grave. But Krishna is also an ocean of gravity. That is Gambhirya. Gambhirya means he is an ocean of gravity. 5th ocean. Karunya, Saushilya, Saundarya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Audarya. 6th ocean. Krishna is an ocean of Audarya. Unlimited benevolence. Extremely benevolent. Audarya. Last is Vatsalya. Krishna is an ocean of Vatsalya. Unlimited affection. One of his qualities is Bhakta Vatsalyata. Bhakta Vatsalyata. So, Radharani is an ocean of 7 oceans. Radharani is compared to 7 oceans. Krishna is compared to 7 oceans. When we are chanting the holy names of Radha and Krishna in the form of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are basically bathing in these 7 oceans. When you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what do we say? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare means Radharani. Very good. How many times do we say Hare? 8 times. In one mantra. How many times we say Krishna? 4. And Ram? And who is Ram? Radhika Raman. For some people, Radhika Raman. For some people, Balaram. For some devotees, it's Lord Ramachandra, Raghava Ram. Depending on your mood. But for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that Ram is also Krishna. Radha Raman. One who enjoys with Radharani, one who gives enjoyment to Radharani. In the first shloka of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, Akhila Rasamrita Murti Prashramara Ruchiruddha Taraka Pali Kalita Shyama Lalito Radha Preyan Vidhur Jayati. I'm not going to discuss the full shloka, but I'll focus on the last line. Radha Preyan Vidhur Jayati. Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is an ocean of all rasas. He is the object of all rasas. Different devotees can connect with Krishna in different ways, in different moods, and Krishna has the ability to reciprocate with all these devotees in all their moods. Therefore, he is called Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Some devotees can connect with Krishna in the mode of a parent, some in the mode of a friend, some as lover, some as husband, some as master. Fine, Krishna can reciprocate with all of them in all ways. Therefore, he is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. And as we discussed some time back, of all these rasas, Madhurya Rasa is the topmost. In that Madhurya Rasa, Parakiya is the topmost. In that Parakiya Bhav, the gopis love Krishna, and amongst the gopis, there are multiple categories or hierarchies. Rupa Goswami says, Prashramara Ruchiruddha Taraka Pali. Taraka and Palika, they are those gopis who are controlled by Krishna. They are the chief gopis, definitely, but their position is little lower compared to other ones amongst the chief gopis. So Krishna controls them. Taraka Pali. Kalita Shyama Lalito. There are two more gopis like Shyama and Lalita. And Krishna doesn't control them. He sees them as equals. Then third category, Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the chief amongst the chief gopis of Krishna, and Krishna doesn't control her. Krishna doesn't even consider her equal. Krishna considers Radharani superior to himself. Therefore, it's mentioned Radha Preyan. Radha Preyan means Krishna endeavors his best to impress Radharani, to please Srimati Radharani. Krishna wears a peacock feather, right, on his head. That peacock feather is the feather of Radharani's pet peacock. Just to impress Radharani, Krishna takes the feather of her peacock and puts on his head. Right? Radha Prayan. Krishna endeavors his best to please Srimati Radharani. You can understand the position of Srimati Radharani. Radha Prayan Vidhur Jayati. Vidhur Jayati means Krishna surpasses everyone else in excellence, but that Supreme Lord endeavors his best to impress Radharani, to please Radharani, to serve Radharani, aspiring for a drop of her devotion, drop of her emotion. And thus he becomes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So coming back to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 8 times we are remembering Krishna, 8 times we are remembering Radharani. What does it mean to remember Radha and Krishna? There's a beautiful shloka. I think our dear Madhav Gopal Prabhu quoted that shloka just few days back when he was discussing Radharani's Nama Rupa Gunalila day before yesterday. He quoted this shloka. That was Radheti Nama Navasundara Sidhu Mugdham Krishneti Nama Madhuradbhuta Gadha Dugdham Sarvakshanam Surabhiraga Himena Ramyam Kritva Tadaiva Pibame Rasanekshudarte Radheti Nama Navasundara Sidhu Mugdham. The greatness of Radharani's name is that Radharani's name or Hare word is like Nava Sundara Sidhu Mugdham. It's like fresh nectar. Radharani's name is like fresh nectar. And what about Krishna's name? Krishneti Nama Madhuradbhuta Gadha Dugdham. Krishna's name is like Madhura Adbhuta Gadha Dugdham. Dugdha means milk. Gadha Dugdham means condensed milk. Adbhuta Gadha Dugdham means wonderful condensed milk. Madhuradbhuta Gadha Dugdham means sweet, wonderful condensed milk. That is Krishna's name. Right? So Radharani's name is fresh nectar. Krishna's name is condensed milk. The combination of this is a special kheer, and that kheer must be taken cold. To make it cool, add ice cubes. What is that ice cube? That is our enthusiasm to chant. That is our love and affection, our attraction to these holy names. Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam. Add to this combination of fresh nectar and condensed milk, add to this combination your eyes, the eyes of your enthusiasm, the eyes of your love, eyes of your affection. Then that will completely quench your thirst. Right? Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam kritva tadaiva pibame rasanekshudarte. Shudarte. Are you feeling thirsty? Drink this nectarian beverage. Your thirst will go away. So, as struggling sadhakas, still being distracted by our anarthas like lust, envy, pride, greed, we may not be able to directly enter into the divine, intimate leelas of Radha and Krishna, but we can begin our connection with them by chanting the names of Radha and Krishna. Right? Just chant the names of Radha and Krishna in the form of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra as prescribed by our acharyas, as prescribed by our scriptures. That's how we make our first connection. Let's chant. Radha namaiva karyam hi anudina militam sadhanadhisha koti tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham satpumarthanga koti radha padab jalilam bhuvi jayati sada manda mandara koti Shri Radha Kinkarinam Luthati Charanayor Adbhuta Siddhi Koti. The shloka says, Radha Namaiva Karyam Hyanudina Militam Sadhana Dhisha Koti. Daily chanting the names of Srimati Radharani and Krishna in the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for us is Sadhana Dhisha Koti. Chanting the holy names of the Lord surpasses crores of sadhanas. Sadhana means some practice that we do, some spiritual practice. So, chanting the names of the Lord surpasses hundreds and thousands and crores of such spiritual practices. Radha Namaiva Karyam. Our only Karyam is Radha Nam or Krishna Nam. Radha Krishna Nam. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Radha Namaiva Karyam Hyanudina Militam Sadhana Dhisha Koti. Tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham satpumarthanga koti. Pumarthanga. Pumartha means the four purusharthas are there, right? Dharmartha, kama, moksha. They are called pumartha. Means purusharthas. Human goals of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And there are many other people who have other goals also. So many goals. But the shloka says, Radha namaiva karyam henudina militam sadhanadisha koti. Tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham satpumarthanga koti. Keeping aside all your so-called concocted human goals or even prescribed goals of dharmartha, kama, moksha, just accept the worship of the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. This surpasses all other human goals. Chanting the names of the Lord surpasses all sadhana practices. Worshipping the lotus feet of Radha Krishna surpasses all human goals. Right? Radha namaiva karyam hyanudina militam sadhana dhisha koti tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham satpumarthanga koti Radha padab jalila bhuvi jayati sada manda mandara koti. Manda mandara koti. There may be hundreds and thousands, crores, millions of desire trees, kalpavrikshas, right? They grow in a place where Radha Krishna walk. That is Vrindavan, right? Don't just aspire to come in contact with a desire tree to fulfill your material desires. Please understand, taking shelter of Srimati Radharani and Krishna is the way to fulfill all your spiritual desires, is the way to eradicate all your material desires. Instead of running behind the kalpa vrikshas, manda, mandara, koti, etc., just take shelter of the place where Radha and Krishna has performed their leelas in the right consciousness. Radha padab jalila bhuvi jayati sada manda mandara koti Shri Radha kinkarinam luthati charanayor adbhuta siddhi koti. Accepting the position of being a servant of the Supreme Lord, servant of Radha Krishna, servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, is like surpassing all kinds of siddhis, perfections. All perfections, supreme mystic perfections are useless in comparison to the position of being a servant of the Lord, servant of Radha Krishna. And Radharani is personifying that mode of being a servant. Right? So we may be attracted or excited by so many goals, so many desires in this material world. Those attractions are actually distractions. Instead of getting distracted by those attractions, let's take shelter of Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna in the form of chanting the holy names of the Lord, worshipping, serving. So this is what Radha Tattva teaches us. It's a particle of a drop of the oceanic glories of Srimati Radharani. The mode of being a servant. Srimati Radharani is constantly in the mode of being a servant of Krishna. And she is such a glorious and noble servant that she wants to recommend other servants, quoting that these servants are better servants than me. Her recommendation is our hope. Right? You see, Srimati Radharani says, my dear Krishna, this devotee is better than me. He or she does more service, better service than me. Please accept, please accept. Then Krishna is obliged to accept. Our sustenance in devotional service is dependent on her grace. Because she does the supreme aradhana, because Radha does the supreme aradhana, when we do aparadha, that displeases her. But when we do aradhana, that pleases her. So, the word Radha is present in aradhana also, aparadha also. But if we do aradhana, we are actually following the footsteps of Srimati Radharani and pleasing her. But if we do aparadha, we are going against her desire, against her teachings, and we are displeasing her. So let us try to do aradhana in the right consciousness as taught to us by the acharyas. But let us try to avoid aparadha and thus come under the shelter of Srimati Radharani. Radha nama sudhara samrasayitum jihvastu me vihvala padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu tatkarmaiva karah karotu hridayam tasya padam dhyayatat tadbhavotsavadah param bhavatu me tat prananathe rati. Tat prananathe ratihi. We need to beg from Srimati Radharani, oh Radharani, please give me some rati, means some devotion towards your Prananatha Krishna. He belongs to you. Krishna is her property. And if you want Krishna, if you want Krishna's mercy, you should beg her. Because you are aspiring for her property. Krishna is her property and we need to ask Radharani, please, give me some devotion to Krishna. Right, I fall at your feet as in the mode of a servant. Radha nama sudhara samrasayitum jihvastu me vihvala padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu, means following the footsteps of Srimati Radharani, which is basically to cultivate the mood of humility, to cultivate the mode of service. Padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu tat karmaiva karah karotu hridayam tasya padam dhyayata. Tat karmaiva karah karotu hridayam. Let us meditate only on those activities which are her activities. Tat karmaiva. Her activities. What is her activity? Constant, dedicated, exclusive, unflinching service to Krishna, selfless service to Krishna without seeking any personal pleasure. That is her activity. And as devotees, we are supposed to follow that. Supposed to make her activity our activity. Means our activity must be only to please her, only to assist her in service to Krishna. Who are we to assist? But she gives us an opportunity to assist. Right? So very exalted and elevated tattva, but that tattva can be approached only by following the footsteps of the acharyas, the regimen given by the acharyas, and imbibing the mode of humility, imbibing the mode of service attitude, and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Right? This is what several oceanic glories of Srimati Radharani are indicating to us. And on this auspicious occasion of Shri Radhashtami, we try to recollect some glories based on Gita. Bhagavatam we didn't too much. Chaitanya Charitamrita, we went too much into Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami doesn't speak much about the gopis. He speaks a lot, but he doesn't take any name. He doesn't take any name of any gopi because he goes into ecstasy. If he goes into ecstasy, Parikshit Maharaj only has few days to live. Who will complete Bhagavatam? Who will complete the syllabus? Right? In our Bhakti Vaibhav syllabus, although we are given 9 months to complete Bhakti Vaibhav, 1.5 years to complete all 12 cantos of Bhagavatam, we have to restrain ourselves. Oh, if I give too much explanation on this shloka, I won't be able to complete the chapter today. Everything is calculated. But just imagine, Sukadeva Goswami was given only 7 days to cover the syllabus. If Vidyapit students are finding that we are going fast-paced in our coverage of syllabus, Sukadeva Goswami had to do it in 7 days. He had to control his ecstasies. Sometimes we have to control our ecstasies for the service. Right? Although you may have so much of excitement to do some devotional activity, we have to keep aside that excitement and focus on the seva. Right? This is what is required to please Guru and Krishna at this moment. When Daruka is fanning Krishna, he gets tears of ecstasy. He says, hey, forget this ecstasy. Let me just wipe my tears. Let me focus on the service. Right? This is what is required. Even Krishna had to control his ecstasies. He would have continued in Vrindavan only. In Vrindavan, Krishna was happily performing his pastimes for more than a decade. Suddenly Akrura comes. Come, let's go to Mathura. Why? Your parents are crying there, you know. Devaki Mata, Vasudeva, although they gave birth to such a glorious son as yourself, they never saw you. On your birthday, means on the day of your birth, not every birthday, on the day of your birth, they have seen you once. But now you are more than 10 years old, 10 years, 7 months, something like that, almost 11 years. They never saw you. And nobody clicked a photo and sent them on WhatsApp also. And Krishna's Vrindavan Leelas are not being live streamed like this. There is no YouTube live or Zoom live for all Vrindavan Leelas. Krishna is doing Kaliya Mardhan and some camera is kept in front so that Yashoda Mata, so that Devaki and Vasudeva would see sitting in Dwarka, in Mathura palace. Not like that. They have not even seen Krishna. They have heard little bit here and there. Whatever distorted news comes from Vrindavan to Mathura. Akrura says, come. Then Krishna had to go. His personal excitement is to stay in Vrindavan. His personal excitement to stay with the gopis of Vrindavan, with Srimati Radharani, with the gopis, with Yashoda Mata, with Nanda Maharaj, with all the gopas like Sridama, Sudama, Stoka, Krishna, Madhumangal. Right? But, I think I must kill Kamsa now. I must enthrone Ugrasena Maharaj as the king of Mathura. I must also relieve the burden of the earth. Eventually I have to orchestrate Kurukshetra war and kill all the villains of this material world. Krishna thought, okay, fine. I need to give some pause to my ecstasy of spending time with Vrajavasis. Even Krishna had to interrupt his Vrajaleelas, apparently, to do this quote-unquote service of reducing the burden of the earth, killing the demons and do other things. So all of us have to sacrifice our comforts, sacrifice our excitements for the service of Guru and Krishna. And that's the mood in which Srimati Radharani gave permission to Krishna to leave Vrindavan. When Akrura came to take Krishna away from Vrindavan to Mathura, it was very painful for Yashoda Mata, painful for Nanda Maharaj to digest this. Nanda Maharaj, being the king of Gokul, he is obliged to follow the instructions of Kamsa, because he is the king of entire Mathura Mandal, and Nanda Maharaj is king of only that Vrindavan land. He is obliged to follow, and on top of it, Kamsa is very cruel. So Nanda Maharaj, with lot of hesitation, lot of anxiety, lot of pain in his heart, he came out and made an announcement to all the Vrajavasis. So tomorrow morning, please collect all your milk products and all your taxes. We are supposed to go to Mathura to pay taxes to Kamsa. Go. People will take your darshan. So Nanda Maharaj made an announcement. But Yashoda Mata, behind the curtain, she's just watching. Unable to speak a single word. Unable to stop this event also. She's just crying profusely. Next day morning, all preparations, all arrangements for Krishna's departure from Vrindavan all the way to Mathura was happening next day morning. But that night, Krishna made an announcement, general announcement to all the Vrajavasis, but he understands this announcement is not sufficient enough to pacify the gopis of Vrindavan. I need to personally meet them. So Krishna expanded himself into unlimited gopis. unlimited Krishnas, like hundreds and thousands of Krishnas. They went to each and every gopi, the home of each and every gopi, and Krishna started consoling all the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. So Krishna personally went to Srimati Radharani, and Radharani was crying profusely. And she said, Krishna, you are going to Mathura? Krishna said, I am obliged to go, no other way. I won't be able to stay back because I have a lot of responsibilities. I have to kill Kamsa, I have to release my parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, I have to reduce the burden of the earth. And you know, you are my pleasure potency, you definitely know that I will not come back very soon. You have to experience almost a century of separation from me. Intermittently I may come and see you, but this is the reality. Then Radharani said, okay Krishna, if this is what is your decision, please go. But please know that I won't be alive after your departure. I'll die. Then Krishna became even more overwhelmed and said, please don't say like that, Radharani. Please don't do that. I promise you that every month I will come. Of course, not in a very visible way with all pomp and mridanga kartal, but he will come in a different form, only to see you, meet you, receive service from you, play with you, give pleasure to you by my darshan. So I'll come. So there's a long conversation that happens between them. But in short, the main point that I wanted to make here is Srimati Radharani had to give permission to Krishna to go to Mathura and perform all the pastimes that he was supposed to perform. Otherwise, Radha and Krishna can be there forever. She tolerated separation from Krishna to facilitate Krishna's compassionate pastimes upon all of us. And that's what all the Navadvipasis also did when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was departing from Navadvip. He was going to take sannyas. Somehow Nityananda Prabhu diverted Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's exciting journey towards Vrindavan and brought him back to Shantipur. Again, Mahaprabhu was going away from Shantipur all the way to Jagannath Puri, leaving all his beloved associates aside. So the love between Krishna and his eternal associates is unlimited, and Krishna and his eternal associates tolerate separation from each other so that Krishna can exhibit his compassion upon all of us. In Krishna Leela, it is killing Kamsa, destroying Jarasandha's armies, orchestrating Kurukshetra war, and reducing the burden of earth. In Gaur Leela, Mahaprabhu accepting sannyas and giving Krishna prema and Krishna Nam to people of this world. So to do this, to facilitate these activities, compassionate activities of Gaura and Krishna, the eternal associates of Gaura and Krishna had to tolerate separation from them. Right? So the lesson for us here is, sometimes we have to keep aside our excitements, our pleasures, our desires. They may be spiritual desires. Still, we may have to just park them for a while and focus on pleasing Guru and Krishna, if that's what is required. But even in separation also, Srimati Radharani is feeling the presence of Krishna, and even in separation, Krishna is feeling the presence of Radharani, and they are experiencing Vipralamba Bhava. How much Krishna loves Radharani can be seen in the special letter that Krishna has written to Radharani and all the gopis and sent it through Uddhava. Right? Although Krishna came from Vrindavan to Mathura, he was not in a very happy mood. Now imagine Krishna to be not like Supreme Personality of Godhead, but see Krishna as a 10-year-old boy. So far he was happily spending time with Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj and all the friends, Gopas, Gopis, cows, calves, butterflies, peacocks, monkeys. They were his associates. Suddenly, He was brought out of that association and kept in a palatial building in Mathura and said, these are your new parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. This is your new home, this palace. These are your new servants. Who are they? Ministers and soldiers and servant maids. And these are your new animals, horses and elephants. Not cows and monkeys, but horses and elephants. So just imagine what would be the pain of Krishna. But he tolerated all that. Tolerated separation from Radharani. And he sends Uddhava with a message to pacify Radharani. But actually he was pacifying himself. And after Uddhava came back from Vrindavan, my God, Krishna sat with Uddhava, and for months together he was hearing all the news of the Vrajagopis and all the Vrajavasis. And when Uddhava was reading Krishna's letter in front of the gopis, Radharani sees one bumblebee and imagines that bee to be a messenger of Krishna or Krishna himself and chastising. That's another esoteric subject matter, probably more esoteric than Rasalila also. We don't dare to discuss that. So this is the epitome of love. And to conclude, according to the Samvad, the conversation between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme sadhya, the supreme aspiration or goal of our spiritual life, of our human life is to develop the devotion for Krishna under the shelter of Srimati Radharani or following the footsteps of the Vrajagopis, right? That is the highest aspiration of a Gaudiya Vaishnava especially. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas are those people who aspire to serve Krishna selflessly the way the gopis are serving, but not artificially exhibiting that mood without clearing our anarthas. Then we'll become sahajiyas. Nimai Leela Prabhu was giving a class sometime back, I think a week back. He was saying this. If you focus only on that attachment to Krishna without understanding this tattva, then we become sahajiyas. And if we focus only on this tattva siddhanta and don't even look in that direction, we become jnanis. So there should be proper balance between siddhanta and leela, and we need to keep our aspiration, but that aspiration is attainable only with purification of anarthas. And purification of anarthas happens only when we follow the strict regimen, the sadhana procedure given by the acharyas. Let's not jump into deeper realms of devotional service without adhikar, but at the same time, let us try to make ourselves aware of this goal. Where are we supposed to reach? What are we supposed to attain in this spiritual life? Right? So that's what we can... These are some pointers to meditate upon on this auspicious festival of Shri Radhashtami. Sorry for going overboard. Sorry for not focusing on kids. Although Mataji brought so many children to sit here, I'm focusing more on some little serious topics. Anyways, I hope. Should we have a quiz now? Tell me, what are the 4 gifts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You are counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you remember? You want to say? Prem, Nam, Dham, and you forgot the main thing. Prem, Nam, Dham, Vrindavan Dham, and 4th, Radharani. Right? What are the 7 oceans of Krishna? This homework, this is homework, not immediate class assignment. Anyone? You want to say? Karuna, correct. Saushilya. Excellent. She's taking excellent notes. What are the 7 oceans of Radharani now? Anyone? This is homework. So I think I'll conclude here. I'll not extend more. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Radhashtami Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.